I've got to be honest. If I saw on a bookshelf, David Sampson, The Right Call, the title of the book, The Right Call, What Sports Teach Us About Life and Work, I would not read that book. I would not want to read that book. But if I saw the name Sally Jenkins as the author, okay, why has she chosen this? There must be something fascinating here. I know she's going to report the hell out of it. And if she's choosing subject matter like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Bill Belichick, she's going to go and talk to people who are real craftsmen, geniuses, and she's going to do some real learning. But I would not want to try and get something out of Bill Belichick. I would not want to try too hard to work the corners of interviewing people who are very good at not giving me any information.
It's why you buy the author and not the title.
In this case, I would. So The Right Call, What Sports Teach Us About Life and Work. Sally Jenkins is with us now. And thank you, Sally, for joining us. Tell me why you chose this as subject matter, and tell me, please, why it is you chose the people you chose to talk to inform it.
Because it's what I've been doing for a living for 30 years, and it began to grow on me that I was actually watching something a lot more interesting than pure entertainment. And so I wanted to kind of drill down a little more deeply than you get to doing newspaper columns, every week, and actually go to a Steve Kerr, go to a Peyton Manning, and ask them some sort of nagging questions about what it is they're really doing out there on the field of play, which is making decisions under pressure and performing under really high pressure circumstances. The interesting thing about most high powered decision makers is they work behind closed doors, whereas these sports guys are right out on the field in front of us in real time. And so I wanted to really examine decision making under pressure, which hence the title, The Right Call. I don't claim credit for the subtitle. It's a little geeky.
Oh no, but I'm not even faulting that. I'm just saying life wisdom through sports books. I'm done with them until a career journalist who really gets inspired by, wait, I've been covering genius for 30 years and now my curiosities have gone to a place where I want to talk to Bill Belichick and see if I could get something out of him, because I've never read anything very interesting about Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky. I got to interview him one-on-one just one time, but he gives you a lot. He's very different on the one-to-one. In press conferences, he's so forbidding, and he's playing a real game. He's hiding things from the opponent. He's playing games with the press because he just doesn't believe in what he calls verbal vomiting. He thinks that the opponent can learn stuff from that, whether you realize it or not. But on the one-to-one, he was really informative, just talking to him about his methods. And the main thing I took away from Belichick, two things. One is the degree to which he really values the unsung grinders in his locker room, the dependables, as he calls them. And then the second thing is just the degree to which he really believes that if you can't do something in practice in the face of a little bit of resistance, you're really not going to be able to do anything very well under pressure in the face of all the real resistance that you meet in the world.
Pressure is the key point on this. You're really interested in how there is poise at the height of everyone's watching. Don't make an ass of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole deal, right? Like, that's what we're really watching is performance under pressure, decision making under pressure, which is actually a really, really common experience. I think we tend to think that these people are kind of unreachable, unrelatable in some ways. And the fact of the matter is that this is where they're most accessible. They all feel pressure. They all have to learn how to mitigate it. And that's the thing that you and me can take home from them. The $64,000 question for me in 30 years of sports writing has been, what can we really learn from these people? Are they just there to awe us and entertain us? Or is there something deeper going on out there? And I've just become persuaded there's a real deep intelligence in what they do under pressure. And I found it was beginning to influence my own work and how I write. These athletes and coaches were making me a better writer. So that was part of what I wanted to investigate.
Is it the skill that makes them the genius? Because then I could look at artists, and we could do a book like this about artists as well.
You could.
So really, you're talking about something that happens on the field. But what about you as a writer, or those of us doing content creation or executives?
Yeah.
There's a genius there, I guess. Sometimes with some people, it's just not necessarily on display.
I mean, I think that the genius that they have is really a self-acquired skill set, which is acquired over a number of years. I think that athletes and coaches examine their weaknesses much more closely, very much like an artist, say a pianist will. Like they really work at, a pianist works at a measure of music until it's so internalized that they can play it with feeling and with real, memory, deep memory and intuition. Athletes are a lot like that. They deeply internalize the mechanics of their performance, but it takes an incredible amount of dirty practice to get to that point. And that's where the rest of us can really learn. We can learn from their methods and their habits of mitigating pressure with memorization, practice under pressure, practice in the face of resistance.
One name only. The most interesting person you talked to was blank.
Steve Kerr.
What can you give us in the way of insight? Draymond Green,
I mean,
Jordan Poole, and managing that entire human situation as a manager of people trying to hold together a champion under pressure.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest insight from Steve Kerr is that your followers have to buy in or you're no good at all as a leader. We really look at leadership from the wrong end up. We tend to look at, charismatic strivers who get to the top, when in fact we should be looking at followers and how they're behaving under those leaders. Steve Kerr has created a culture and a consistency of winning in Golden State, and he was a first-time head coach. And what he understood when he came into Golden State was it wasn't so important what the plays that he was calling. He told me strategy is a fraction of what he does. Play calling is a fraction of what he does. What he does is he builds the environment in which those guys want to carry out what he suggests that they do. An NBA coach can't walk into a room full of, 6'8", 7-foot guys and say, hey man, put down your cell phones, listen up. That doesn't really work with high-powered professionals. I don't care what field you're in. Followers will take you down if they don't trust you or don't like you. They have to trust your intentions are good, and they have to trust that your expertise is sound. And you have to establish that. That's what Steve Kerr really talks about most about in the book, is establishing a culture of trust and getting buy-in from your followers so that they don't basically frag you, which you see with so many other coaches. You wonder why a Matt Patricia doesn't succeed as a head coach, why Urban Meyer becomes a huge bust as a head coach. And it's because their followers took them out.
Well, Steve Kerr got in a position where he had two players, everything you're saying that he did, we were talking about the possibility of two players fighting where they had to get rid of one of them, maybe both of them. So isn't there a scenario where you are playing Steve Kerr and playing the result where he had a championship team, had great players, was part of a championship team with Phil Jackson, and maybe came into the genius? I just wonder, Sally, when we talk about athletes, we've both known a lot of athletes. Not all of them are genius, and a lot of them have skill that was God-given in a way that is just makes me in awe, but doesn't ever make me think they're genius.
Yeah, but I mean, Steph Curry was the size of your teenage girl when he started out. I mean, I think it's really important to recognize what a self-made, self-fashioned creature a Steph Curry is. Draymond Green, I mean, as Steve Kerr said, Draymond Green was a real tweener coming out of college. I mean, that's a Kerr draft pick there. Like, he didn't just walk into that situation. He saw something in Green that I think a lot of other people didn't, right? And he said he's a winner. That's what position he plays. And his ability to manage Green and manage the team chemistry, despite these repeated blow-ups, is really, really one of the most interesting coaching jobs I've ever watched.
Sally, take me through what just happened in Washington this weekend with the Wizards. The Wizards no longer have the names on the Wizard are all gone. It's Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma, and I saw an ad. The Qataris are buying in on American sports, and the picture was of Kendrick Nunn because nobody plays for that team anymore. Can you please explain to me what just happened in Washington?
Well, I mean, it's a total restart. It's obviously they're hitting the refresh button. They're rebooting. I don't know if it's going to work. it's difficult to say, but obviously they wanted to get the wheels out of the ditch, and we'll see. The Qatari investment thing, I think there's a real difference between what's been going on with the Live PGA Tour, which is like 100% ownership. The Saudis will own all of global golf, and the Qataris buying a minority percentage of one franchise in the NBA. The NBA has very strict limits on foreign sovereign government investment of 20%, which is a sensible rule. I mean, look, Saudis own part of Uber. They own small percentages of lots of different companies because the public investment fund is immense and needs places to put its money. That's a far cry from, say, the Live Golf merger. So I think that's an important distinction. Where the Wizards are headed, again, it's a blank slate, right? And those are interesting. Those can be interesting until they're not.
You wrote about the Live PGA merger. What do you find most interesting about it?
I mean, the thing that I find most interesting about it is the degree to which PGA Tour players have thought they had self-determination, and it turns out they have absolutely none. This has been sort of a festering problem internally in the PGA Tour for almost 50 years now. The structure of the tour puts 5 independent directors on the PGA Tour policy board who are not golfers. They're business suits, and they sit on this board of a supposed nonprofit making policy decisions for the players. And it turns out that 3 of those guys could go off and do a deal with the Saudis without consulting or telling a single professional golfer. That is not self-determination. I think the interesting thing will be to see if the players like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods and Patrick Cantlay and Scottie Scheffler decide that structure is really untenable and that it needs to be repaired before they do any kind of deal whatsoever.
Sally, how is everything you just said possible? Like, I just explained, I don't understand how.
Yeah, I can explain it. It's back when Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus founded the PGA Tour. They thought it was wise to bring in some business advisors, and that was a sound choice. I think sort of unwittingly, they allowed the charter documents of the PGA Tour to be written in a way that gave the commissioner really broad, sprawling powers. And Nicklaus finally realized in the 80s that they had awarded the commissioner's office and the policy board way too much power, and tried to correct it and tried to confront Dean Beeman and unseat Dean Beeman, and found that he could not when someone showed him the charter papers and said, look, these are the commissioner's powers. And Nicklaus said, well, who awarded him all those powers? And this guy said, you did, and showed Nicklaus his signature on the original founding documents. So it's a flaw that's been sitting at the heart of the PGA Tour's management for a long, long time. And it's just going to be interesting to see whether this generation of players decides to cure that.
Billions of dollars in the charter papers. I mean, the game, it's ridiculous that the business would be that flimsy, that billions of dollars would be in paperwork at the very beginning, just at the oversight of when, Jack and Arnie got together and drew up the plans. Sally, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
As I navigate these shark-infested waters that I find myself in at Meadowlark, trying to figure out what I can do, when I can do it, who I can do it with, I am making my way through the office, trying to talk to people, crowded, hard to find my way. There was an opening to try to spend a moment with the EP, Mike Ryan. I walked to talk to him, Amin, and he gave me the hand. And I assumed when I got the hand it was, I'm working. I got stuff going on. We're filming. We're taping. No, I look closer. He's buying tickets to Messi's first game with Inter Miami.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal, no?
No. Not when we are doing a show and I'm trying to get notes to talk about what we're doing.
I mean, it is a time-sensitive thing, right? These tickets are released and then they're going to get bought up immediately. And, this is one of the biggest sports stories in South Florida history.
You can give your password to a friend who's not doing a live show.
No. Far too important. Can't be trusted with that. And time is of the essence. While I was trying to snag up my tickets, I got 4. I only need 2. I got 4. to pay for the other 2. While you're doing that, sometimes the seats that you select disappear because other people are beating you to the punch. So you got to be as quick as possible.
So instead of doing work with me, you were profiting off the fact that Messi is now with Inter Miami.
Well,
how's he profiting? Hold on.
I
just said-
haven't profited yet.
He just said he bought 4 tickets when he only wanted 2.
I thought you had season tickets.
So, yes, I do have season tickets, and all that the season tickets afforded me for this match, because it's not an MLS regular season match, was the ability to purchase these tickets before everyone else.
Wait a second. What kind of system is
That's
this?
absurd.
I've always thought that when you buy season tickets to a team, that includes the exhibition games.
Naturally.
Naturally.
But it's actually commonplace. For example, when you're a Miami Heat season ticket holder, you have to buy playoff tickets.
Yes.
Because that's a different competition, is it not?
Yes, but
Same goes for the Leagues Cup in MLS. This is par for the course with international soccer.
But they give you the they don't. It's not like if I'm a Heat season ticket holder, at the beginning of the playoffs, I have to pay for 4 rounds as if we're going to go to the finals every time.
Yes.
But it's not
As
like
the home team every
Yes,
time
yes.
in every round.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. 4 games
and
around.
then they
every round.
reimburse your account for what they don't end up.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they just
Not
claim.
exactly.
They give
They
you
apply it to
Yeah,
next
to the
year.
count
next
credit.
season.
There you go.
Yeah.
Attaboy. But I don't have to rush to do it because I'm a season ticket holder. It's my seats.
Right, but I'm battling other season ticket holders that are presumably doing the same thing that I am.
But aren't
which
they
is
your
trying,
seats?
No, you're not guaranteed your own seats. So
Were you not guaranteed? Are you trying to tell me that, but for you doing it at that moment,
right.
you would have been shut out?
That's the only way that I got Midfield Club. There were only 2 tickets left in Midfield Club by the
So
time I finished.
everybody at that time was on that website, no matter what they were doing. They're in the middle of a show.
they
They're
were
in the middle of
smart.
driving. Whatever they're doing.
if they were
stopped.
smart, they got the
pulled
email.
over.
They got the email from Inter Miami saying that your pre-sale for the Leagues Cup, which once again is a different competition than the one that I have season tickets for. All those season tickets have afforded me is a place in the line with my pre-sale password, and it's fine. It's cool. I understand that. That's the way that all soccer works. If you're a Chelsea season ticket holder, well, this is a bad year to make this example because they're not in Champions League. You don't get Champions League tickets in your package. You don't get FA Cup tickets in your package. You don't get Leagues Cup tickets in your
getting the
package.
tickets in your package.
We're talking about the timeliness.
The timeliness and the right to purchase.
Right, but I'm actually cool with this exchange because the reason why you're on a time crunch is you can buy more than you've already got as a season ticket holder. For example, I've only got 2 seats as a season ticket holder. Through this pre-sale, I'm able to buy up to 4 tickets, right? So I can actually, when I'm able to sell these, I can turn a profit that way, and I'm fine with the trade. Like, okay, I don't get my own seats, but I can purchase 2 additional seats, and then I can flip that to pay for the 2 seats that I have.
Do you not have a rep?
Yeah, I do, but
Why
I
can't
like
you call the rep?
very transient. Oh, have you tried to call an Inter Miami rep over the last month?
I have definitely
No,
not. Has
no.
anyone?
Yeah, plenty of
Are we
people
doing
have.
polls? Have you tried to call your rep today?
Yeah, plenty of
Come
people
on.
have. If you email your rep, you get an automatic reply back that they're swamped with stuff.
Really?
Thankfully, I have a good rapport with my rep, and my rep gets back to me. I'm, I guess, a priority account on those premises. But
Obviously not, because you had to be on your computer doing it at the exact time as every other normal person.
Yeah, but I had information, and I got the email. I know some season ticket holders for Inter Miami that were like, "Where's the email? What folder did it get?" And we had to send them the links that we got.
How much heads up did you get on this?
We got a couple days heads up.
So did you have an alarm set?
I did.
He did. I heard it.
I did, but
I heard it.
But I also saw the email come in. I got an alert that the email came in that I could get in the waiting room for my tickets.
I'm just upset because I wanted to accomplish something with you for work, and you were sitting there buying tickets for profit.
Well, look at you using that as content.
There you go.
So
Welcome to the show, David.
You're welcome.
I do want to ask you a question about that. When it comes to the business of sports, right? In terms of like the thing that Mike just described, which is I guess commonplace for soccer.
I don't want to do this like this is a weird, quirky soccer thing. This is the case for every major American sport. If
No,
your
it's
team,
not.
if your favorite
No,
team
it's
makes
not.
a bowl game,
No, it's
you
not.
have to pay extra for that bowl
No,
game.
that's not what I'm talking about, Mike. What I'm talking about is the example that I just used. If I'm a Heat season ticket holder, yes, I paid for the exhibition games and the regular season. Once we hit the playoffs, I am told, hey, your seats.
Your build.
You want them? Right? You opt in or opt out.
Yeah,
You're opting
but
in.
do they tell you that you can buy extra seats?
Yes, but not, and you can buy same location, or you can buy different location. You get priority access to do that.
Right.
But
Right.
not to, but your seats
But
are
my
your
own seats, I don't have to rush. Yes, I do have to pay.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit on my computer. Oh, it's 10:01. I don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, this is
But you're
this
say-
is
but
different.
you're
This
saying-
is Lionel Messi.
But no, I get it. But you're saying that in soccer, that's how they do. So Man City fans,
Yeah,
they
there's-
had to like wait at 10:01. Not fans, but Man City season ticket holders had to wait till
I
10:01.
don't wanna, I'm a little out of my depth on knowing like all those particulars. Like I don't know every minutia on that. I do know that it's tricky getting certain tickets, and there's pre-sales and club memberships and all sorts of hoops that you have to jump through in order to get tickets.
I want to make it easier for people to get tickets.
Do we do it better than any other?
Well, no, we got
No.
Ticketmaster.
We just get
So,
screwed more.
yeah,
than
we get
anybody
screwed more.
else.
Like, it's
We're
a-
very good at that.
Yeah, it's
we
a-
lead the world.
Who does it?
Yeah,
the
you have
best?
the
Screwing
we had the
fans.
dynamic pricing, which is a huge problem that
That's
the,
different than
the
the
federal
fees.
government is trying to take care of. And like anything, we're just going to end up paying for it. We're going to end up subsidizing whatever they do. Okay, we're going to remove the fees and dynamic pricing. Guess what? Tickets are just more expensive now on face value.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
all that's
don't-
going to happen.
By the way, I don't think dynamic pricing is an issue.
Oh, it is.
It's not.
I actually, Mike, I would like to tell you what I think the issue is. It's the government's upset with the hidden fees.
Yeah.
You actually had a reaction while you were buying your 4 tickets for profit on company dime. That said, I can't believe how expensive this is.
Yeah, these are.
Was that the face value or the fees after you got the 4?
They increased the face value. Like the face value of those tickets were more than the face value for my regular season tickets.
But were there fees on those tickets?
Yes, additional fees.
Do you pay fees on your season tickets?
Game by game, I don't think so. I don't think so.
This is my issue.
Yeah.
You know the fee I hate is when because I used to go in person to stadiums to try to avoid the fees where I still get charged a service fee when it's like I am the one that's doing the work here. I had to drive, I had to park, I had to walk, and you're still charging me the same fees.
I had a chance to be the smartest stadium developer in the world, and I was denied that right by Major League Baseball. In 2009, when Marlins Park was being developed, I did not want any ticket windows. Major League Baseball did not allow
You
it.
didn't want a physical brick and mortar.
All I
ticket.
wanted was one place for pickup, like a VIP will call,
Right.
because I didn't want to pay people to stand there and do a ticket transaction.
Even though you promised the city and county jobs.
They'll do other jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
There's
those
plenty of
jobs.
other jobs. As a matter of fact, there's way more high-paying jobs for all the automation that goes on, all the IT jobs. And I was prescient in that ticket windows, Billy, are not a thing anymore. There used to be, we used to make another number I used to make up where the number of people who came to FanFest. Made up that number. The number of tickets sold on the on-sale day, made up that number. And we would hire people to stand online for the photo op on day one.
Wait,
what?
what?
Oh, hell yeah. Bring donuts.
You
We'd bring
hired extras?
Ringers.
Everybody
How?
downstairs
You planted an
online.
audience.
Oh, who would ever do that? It's all about how's it going to look. And now without ticket windows, never have to worry about it again. There is no more hiring required. No more line. I'm done. I don't know what level of friend you'd have to be to get the Messi tickets that Mike Ryan now has. But Stu has walked in, and in his desire to profit another way, he found it.
Yeah.
He wants market value tickets, face value
Face value,
tickets,
yeah.
to then resell, taking a second layer after Mike Ryan.
Well, I figure if Mike has extra tickets, and Mike and I have been friends for a long time, that Mike would give me to sell me to at face value. Now, Mike knows me well enough to know that I am only going to take those and resell them to make a profit. I'm not interested in tickets that are already jacked up. then I don't profit as much.
But he only bought the tickets to make a profit, and you're not a good enough friend where he's going to be willing to give it to you, where he's going to give up his profit or even split his profit so
Right.
you can then make yours.
Okay, so that dream is dead.
Dead.
all right?
But my point is, like, I don't think there's any friend in the world, like, when you have something like that, something of value. There's Messi's first tickets, Super Bowl tickets,
Right.
NBA All-Star tickets, where it's like, no, these don't go for this. Like, they go for this price, the face value, if you are one of the people ignoring your job and sitting by your computer and waiting for 10:01 to hit or whatever. But there's no friend in the world, I would say, yeah, you can have them for face value. Absolutely
Well,
not.
what if you just paid face value?
If I paid face value for them? No, I'm
You
not.
would charge the premium. I'm going to give you a real world example.
Yes.
Taylor Swift. I got Taylor Swift tickets for somebody, and I got them at face, which was extraordinarily
Wait,
And you sold them to that person at face?
at the exact number that
Wait
I
a second,
paid
no,
for
but
them.
that's different. You got them for someone.
I had Taylor Swift tickets
Did you already have the ticket?
that I
You
had
already purchased.
at not
At face.
not at 5,000 a ticket.
Right, at
I'm
face
talking
value.
about at 300 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them to someone who asked for Taylor Swift tickets. You're telling me I should have charged 5,000?
The person who asked, did they ask you this before you purchased the tickets, or they knew you had tickets? Like, oh, do you have two more?
No, I'm guessing they went to David as a person who could possibly get them Taylor Swift
Okay, that's
tickets.
different.
Right.
That's different.
So therefore I can't profit off that.
That one, no, because that is someone who's coming to you hat in hand saying, look, I'm not looking for a freebie. I just want to pay face value. Can you help me get face value tickets? Now you are an instrument.
That wasn't the inquiry. The
What was
inquiry
the
is
inquiry?
not, can you get me face value?
Well,
It's
let
just,
me
can
paint,
you get me any?
Let me paint the picture for you. You have 4 Super Bowl tickets, Amin,
Yes.
at face value.
Why don't you let him paint the picture since it happened to him?
Well, hold on a second, because I think this is what we're trying to get at.
different picture. It's a different
It's a
picture.
different picture.
Yeah.
We've moved on to a different picture. So you have 4 Super Bowl tickets at face value.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 4th that is available. Someone had to bail. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me that you would sell to your friend at market value and not face value. Because there should be a friend should pay less simply because they're your
They're a
friend.
friend.
Also, they'll be sitting next to you, not some stranger, which will make it a better viewing experience for you, I would think, right?
If I can take this one, or let's make them 2 tickets, and make them pay for my 2 tickets that I pay, all 4 of the 2
Wow.
tickets that I paid face value for, I'm absolutely going to do that. Now, would I prefer it to be a friend? Sure, but I think I would be. The other person is a bad friend to say, hey, I know you're sitting on this pot of money, but you should throw it all away so that we can have a beer together. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like you guys that much.
These are all different scenarios. David's scenario was someone seemingly reached out to you and said, can you get me Taylor Swift tickets? And you got them at face value and sold them to them at face value.
Correct.
Mike had a situation where he intentionally bought tickets to resell. Stugotz then wants Mike to sell him those tickets at face value so he himself can resell them and he can make the
Yes.
profit that Mike would be making.
Yeah.
Amin's situation is where he has bought these tickets and he has friends who actually want to attend the game and he is selling them the tickets at a jacked up price so he himself makes the profits, sits with his friends, and they essentially paid for his tickets.
I find it to be
What a great
even for
recap.
me. Yeah, it is a great recap. It means you're paying attention, which is amazing, despite evidence to the contrary everywhere around me. That said, that is not very nice to do to your friend.
Well, I
At
mean,
all.
they don't have to do it. They can not do it, and I can have a stranger sit next to me and pay for my.
You don't
my
want to
Super
have
Bowl
a
experience.
share a moment, have a connection with somebody.
Not really.
This is going to be an awkward setup because the 2 tickets that I have to resell are the 2 tickets that are next to mine and my wife's.
But they don't know
So
that.
we're just going to, they don't know that, but I'll know it the entire time and I'll just
Yeah.
be like, that's the sucker.
That's the guy.
That's the sucker.
Right.
You know what you do? You buy a beer for him and say, "Hey, thanks. It's on me."
No,
Trust
you
me."
never talk about
No.
it.
Beers come with these seats.
Do you ever talk to anyone on an airplane or in a hotel? You don't really see people when you're in the elevator. You don't say to them, hey, what's your room rate? Right? When you're sitting next to someone on a plane, you don't say, hey,
Right.
what'd you pay for the plane ticket?
Right.
Everyone pays a different amount for every ticket, everywhere.
But it
no one
depen-
talks about it.
It depends on the level of friend that you're bringing to the Super Bowl. Like, I would charge you face value if I brought you to the Super Bowl. I would.
Because your friend.
Pablo, on the other hand.
I I like
So it's
that
based
idea.
on net worth.
I like that.
Just how close of a friend they are. You know?
I like the idea of Stugotz having like frequent flyer mile like levels of. There's a gold membership of Stugotz Friendship. There's a silver, a platinum, executive platinum. And it's like Pablo's coming in with like lead.
Right.
At lead, you have to pay above face value.
Do you guys eat the fees? Like when you sell tickets to your friends, especially if it's like a printed ticket with a price on it, do you eat the fees?
Hell no.
And so
Amortize it.
Okay, because then it gets awkward because I had a situation. I mean, it was years ago when it wasn't as common. But I was like, these tickets were, $45, and like it says $30. I'm like, yeah, but I got charged $15 in fees. And at the time, it's like I'm 20 years old. Like I don't have just extra $15
Like the service
to eat
fees,
it.
right?
Yeah.
No, Bill, you got to do that. And you know what? You tack on a little service fee of your own.
The Amin fee.
Yeah, $5.
If you want to accrue wealth, you have to. It doesn't matter that you were 20 at the time. That has to be your sort of raison d'etre at your age with your salary.
No, at the time, that's what I did.
But you still have to do it, is my point.
I mean, but now it's like family, so I'm just like, I will treat you to this game.
That's super nice of you, and I like treating people as well, but there are times that you have to draw the line or else you get sucked dry.
I will tell you that David got me and my wife great tickets to a great show. Can I reveal this?
Of course.
Okay, to Bruce on Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
In
the one that you said you wish you'd watched it on Netflix, right?
Yeah. In the second row. Thank you, Amin.
Seriously, that was your review? I would have been happier to watch it on Netflix.
I was so shocked to see Springsteen have a great sense of humor and a personality that I did not expect. But to your credit, you sold me those at face. You could have jacked them up. Those tickets were going for a lot of money.
And you're not in my platinum level.
I know. I'm not certain I'm at any level.
No. I mean, you're not lead.
Well, thank you.
At all. Like, I don't want to put you there, but I don't think that would be right.
I would sell the Messi tickets at cost. Not face cost, because the service fees.
That's what we mean by face.
I would sell them to a friend that I knew was passionate about Inter Miami.
I'll take them.
All my friends that are passionate about Inter Miami have already gotten the tickets, though. So
everybody who wanted tickets got them.
Yeah, I'm in a group chat.
In your group chat, they stopped working all at the same time.
I mean, if you've been listening to this show, I've been saying pretty strongly that, hey, there's a good chance this is the season. So a lot of people took that advice and got season tickets.
Did Master get a couple
hoping
of
this Master's been to a couple. See, if Master hit me up and Master's like, I want to go to that game, I'm like, you were there when Will Trapp was running down the flank.
This is something we hadn't contemplated before, and thank you for bringing it up. What we're now saying is it's not just level of friendship. Now it's level of affinity. You're requiring not just friends, but that they have to be a fan of the team.
I've invited Stugotz to a couple of games, and he's always said, I'm getting to it.
Yeah. Well, Messi wasn't there, though. I mean.
One of the biggest arguments I got into with Jeffrey Loria is when someone took his tickets, owner's tickets, and rooted against the Marlins. I lost my mind.
On Jeffrey.
For
giving that person the tickets.
For allowing that person to be in his seats.
It's great.
Rooting against his team.
I'm with you.
On tickets that were free.
I'm with you.
Jeffrey was a big Yankees fan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did he feel during the World Series? Not even close, like no conflict?
It's funny. He wrote a book, and it just got released, and there was a talk about that.
How did that sell?
I don't have the rankings. It's not on the Apple Podcast rankings. It's a fascinating book about art and about baseball. But he was a big Yankee fan, went to the perfect game, Don Larson, and he sat, little known fact, he did not sit in the visiting owner's seats in the World Series. He sat in his own season ticket seats.
Really?
Yes. Which was
what did he do with the other seats?
Fox had to know.
With a Yankee cap on?
That would have been something. To me, he couldn't lose.
But hold on.
No, get out of here. He owned the Marlins.
He wanted the Marlins
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Look, as someone who's worked for professional teams, there's nothing that would make me say, oh, but I grew up. Hell no. I want the team that I work for winning all the time. And there's not even a shred of There's no tug of my heart, but my favorite team is playing. No way.
It depends.
No way.
No,
Yankee fans are different.
It
Old-time
depends at
Yankee
which
fans are
level you
different.
work within that organization. I worked in the ticket office for the
Oh,
Florida Marlins.
yeah.
Like if they played the Mets in the NLCS, I'm not rooting for the Marlins.
You
But
get
if I'm the
fired.
vice president of the Marlins, that's a different story. I'm
I'd-
still rooting for the Mets, just secretly. Okay?
I'd fire you. I would. That's not
You
allowed.
fire everyone.
Well, you got to root for your team. So I find it to be objectionable, but that's in the case of an owner giving seats. Mike, I think it's unreasonable that you require your friends to show their love of Inter Miami.
No,
You
I
think
think
it's
he
ridiculous?
wants the person who purchases those tickets to be a big time soccer fan.
Oh, I thought he said Inter Miami fan.
No, not a purchase. You're talking about if he were to sell at face value to a friend, that friend
Would have
can't-
to care.
Yeah, they can't be a Johnny Come Lately.
Right. They can't be like a Stugotz.
They can't be
There's no
Stugotz.
interest in
No,
it.
I'm with you. You know what? I like it. I like making them have to fight for it. Like show your passion.
How
for
about a
this.
non-friend though, who's really passionate the way you are about the team, like a non-friend?
No, I wouldn't do
Okay,
that.
good.
Non-friend can buy them on resale.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
I find it
Covering all
to
the
be-
bases, Mike.
It's very complicated, Mike, and I think you're going to end up getting stuck because
No.
you have so many
No
flow
chance.
charts to go through of who to do these tickets to and at
They're
what
probably
price.
already sold.
No.
No, they haven't allowed me to resell. I could always go to another secondary market, and with the understanding that once that person makes the agreement with me, I can transfer on Ticketmaster. But the official resale market has not opened yet. Inter Miami is not allowed for that yet.
I would like to open applications to get your extra 2 seats and what it would take. And I'm going to submit
Remember,
my
these
resume.
are all you can drink seats.
Well, that just changed the whole equation. Now you got to charge a premium.
Now, what are you charging again?
What do you mean? What would it take? It's going to take a lot of money. Like,
No, it doesn't take. It's more than money. It takes friendship. It takes love. I need to make a presentation about how much I love Inter Miami, and I'm going to do it so that Mike and I are sitting next to each other while I'm making fun of Jorge Mas.